We've seen over the years a lot of our friends end up with issues with the size of their places. We had a really steep driveway too. I've got bad knees, and that was becoming an issue, like just up and down the driveway with the lawnmower, with the garbage bins. Everything was becoming an issue. We
realised we were getting older and that maybe we couldn't stay in our 3-storey, 4-bedroom house anymore, that we were going to physically not be able to maintain it. And I think also looking towards retirement, we were looking to finish up work, and we wanted a house that we would be able to live easily in and to go away on holidays and be able to leave the house, and it wasn't going to be a big job when we came back. We wanted an established suburb. We wanted to live somewhere that was established. We'd lived here previously in this suburb and we understood the community, and that's really important to us, that community's there, and the demographic. And the
pub and the club and the restaurants and the...
Yeah, that's right. The demographic's good. There's a real good mixture of young and old, and so we felt that's why the Knockdown rebuild would work for us as well. Finally, this block of land became available, and we thought, that's perfect. It's north facing, it'll be nice and sunny, it's flat, it's close to all the shops and restaurants. I think that will be the place for us. So then once we had the block of land, then we started looking for the building company, and that led us to Evolution.
I was talking one day to a client of mine who's a tradie with Evolution, and he mentioned the display home out at Wongawilli. He said that it had some of the features that I discussed with him about and all sorts of things. And anyway, it just rolled on from there. We had spoken to another builder, but as soon as we got to Evolution and out there, I'd spoken to Geoff a few times about it, and anyway, he was full of praise, and we started, and we got hooked as soon as we went to the show home and talked to Jason out there. It was simple.
Back on our choice of Evolution was that it was important for us that we had a local builder. We wanted to make sure that they were known in the area and that they had established themselves here. So that was important. And then when we went to look at the display home, we thought the quality of the workmanship and the fit out was really, really good. We liked the design of it, the style of it, and a lot of the features that were in it. But then when we went in and talked to Jason, it didn't actually feel like he was doing a sales job on it. He felt like just our son or something, I don't know. It was just like this regular conversation that we had with him, where there was no pressure, and he was just very informative, I think, and we felt we trusted him. We followed up on him a couple of times about things, and he always got back to us quickly. And
and we discussed the different floor plans as they were, and we'd say, oh, that doesn't suit, that's not going to work, and he got on the computer and did quite a bit of stuff with different plans that he said, can change this, change that. And anyway, we'd actually sort of half decided on a plan, and then we used to walk past here of a morning quite often, and one morning we went, oh, that plan's not going to suit the block, we need to flip it. And of course we couldn't actually flip the plan and have the front now where it is, so we went back to Jason and he said, look, that's not an issue, we can get he showed us a bit of other stuff, and he then said we can go down the custom build. So that's when we started. So that was probably our third visit out to Jason. That we then started the custom build, and it flowed from there. And like, you know, we virtually got everything we wanted except the 4-car garage.
I think it was the fact that Jason never seemed to get frustrated with us, and he just kept coming up with new solutions and coming up with different angles that we could look at it from. And I think that that made us feel comfortable that he was going to be the person to come up with a solution that would suit us. So, yeah, I think that his patience, we never seemed to annoy him. and that we valued that we could always ask him something or say, oh no, we've decided that's not how we want it, this, you know, and he wouldn't seem to mind.
Yeah, the whole thing didn't seem a drama. We were comfortable. We'd ask him a question and it'd get answered straight away, or he'd find out an answer for us. So it was sort of communication, and you know, there was no waiting as far as we were concerned. You know, waiting for ages. Why do people complain about building a house? You know, it was just like, you know, and talking to my client again, he was saying Jake's amazing, etc., etc. So it was just like, you know, easy.
I think it was seamless, and what I liked was it seemed like there was somebody assigned to us for every stage of the journey. So, you know, when we went from the design phase, you know, we had Jason. Then we moved on to Emily, I think it was, or Emma, who helped us then with the selection of the colours, etc. And then we had somebody to help us through the whole build period and the contract period, and so you always felt there was somebody there that you could call and who would help you, and that you weren't left alone. And you know, so it made you feel reassured that you had somebody all the way along with you for support. And everyone was just so super friendly and helpful and professional. There was not one staff member that I ever encountered that I didn't think was excellent. They were all so good, and it just was so easy. And as Geoff has said, we couldn't believe it when people were saying, oh, well, what about, like, haven't you had any problems here, or haven't you had any problems there? Aren't they running behind time? No, none of that. No, everybody, we've been told dates and they have kept every date. In fact, we ended up moving in sooner than we expected to. So it was really, really good.
The colour selection, the tiles, well, we'd already picked the flooring way before anything else, the electrical plan, all that sort of thing. So that was a heavy day doing a lot of that stuff. But we sort of found that process good as well, because the lady that did all the colour suggestions and everything, she was great. And then, you know, the electrical fit out was interesting and helpful. The lady there was helpful. The kitchen, Alicia Coast Kitchens, we dealt with them before because they did stuff at our other house, and we're really happy that they were the kitchen people. So, you know, it was all pretty simple, really. And even though we went, gee, this is going to be a long day, and it was, but you know,
it was just very structured, wasn't it? Yeah. So you have an idea of what you want. Ours was that we wanted something rural, kind of country style. But then there'd be some aspect that you might like about a house, like either the facade or the cabinetry or whatever, and it would be modern. And then you'd think the consultant would say, well, that probably doesn't suit that vision you have of the rural country, that this would be a better option. And I'm pleased that we did go with that advice, because I think we've ended up with a home that has that vibe that we wanted. Yeah. So we had sold our home, so we had to move into rental accommodation. And we certainly didn't want to be there any longer than we had to be there, both from a cost perspective as well as a living perspective. So it was important to us that Evolution would meet their timeframes and that we could move out of that rental as soon as we could. And they fulfilled that for us, so that was good. And I think the third thing that helped us have confidence in Evolution was to see the other work that they were doing in the area. So we saw quite a bit of development happening from them. We actually went and visited a couple of places.
We knocked on one door and we said, and we had a we knocked on the door to say, are you happy? And anyway, he basically, we were there for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
he said, there are a few things that we had to discuss over the period, but he said if I was going to ever build again, I would definitely use Evolution.
So that sealed the deal for us then?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first wow moment for me was when the final design was done and I saw our house or our home, and that was like, yes, that's going to be perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I found the lady designer who helped us was so good that she listened to me, and it only took us 2 or 3 attempts to get the design perfect to how I wanted it. So that was wow, that was not that hard. That was good.
And seeing the profiles and the whole...
Yeah, when they did
not just the floor plan, the whole profile.
When they gave us those final plans, yeah. And then the second one was when it actually, the walls went on, the roof went on, and when the roof went on and the walls went on, and we came up and we saw it, and it actually exceeded our expectations. We thought, that is what we wanted, and yeah, it was really exciting. My favourite feature is the front porch and the balcony. I always wanted to have a porch to sit on, and it's a beautiful sunny one, looking out over the escarpment. So that's probably my favourite. The second favourite would be the functionality of this house, especially compared to when we moved out of our larger house. I've realised moving into this downsized home how easy it is to live here and to care for it. Third one would be the fit out. I love the features. I love the V-groove panelling in the doors and cabinetry, and the ceiling out in the porch. The tapware and the bath, it's exactly what I was hoping for in the new home. And I liked the whole all the options that we had for the fit out. That we had a wide choice, and I think what we've chosen fits the house, fits the style of the house.
The extra insulation in the media room so I can watch war movies, westerns, whatever, turned up loud and I don't get into trouble. Well, we love the view from here. We love the outdoor, the fire pit outside. That's why we got that. We had a fire pit in our last house that we used to sit around there the whole time. Leigh's parents used to say, how stupid we were paying good money for a house and then sitting outside. We love sitting outside. The alfresco area's got a great vibe. Sun in the morning. We're out of the southerlies, so it's nice out there 90% of the time. So it just means that we can have that extra space, even though it's a smaller house than what we had. We've got the extra space that we can make use of out there.
In terms of how we live here, it's very important to us that we have space for entertaining. So we want to be able to have our friends here still for dinner parties. We want to be able to relax, you know, and have a wine and some happy hour out on the patio. The kitchen's large so that I can still cook and enjoy company that's around me because of the wide opening windows. We can still interact, and that's really a great way that we live. When we have our grandchildren visit, they can sprawl out there on the porch while we're in here having a chat or a cup of tea or whatever. That's really good. And then, as Geoff has mentioned, I like to listen to music, so I can be out here listening to my music. He can be sitting in watching television, and that's great. I love the bathroom that I worked with the designer to make it feel luxurious, I guess. And so I think that's made me happy that I've chosen what I've chosen for the house, or that we've chosen what we've chosen. And ultimately that's what I wanted in retirement, was to be in a relaxed, happy place. For me, my biggest tip that I give my friends is to start the journey earlier, to not put off something. If you're sort of heading towards retirement in a few years' time, then start your journey sooner if you're going to be thinking about downsizing. I think it gives you more time in your new home, and it also makes it easier, I think, for you if you have that long tail to when it actually has to happen. So that's my big tip. The second tip would be to do your homework and feel comfortable that you're choosing the right builder. I think it's important that you trust your builder, and that makes the journey a lot easier if you feel you've made the right choice and that they're going to do the right thing by you.
And I think, like, we basically had a list of must-haves. You know, one of them was a 4-car garage, but the block didn't suit that. So I think that's important to make sure that you know what you want. Like, an important thing for us was to have, Leigh likes to listen to music all the time. I like to watch a movie or a show on TV. So having the two different spaces that can be separated, that was important. Whereas a lot of designs, and we looked at units at one stage, and friends moved into a unit and we said that's just not going to work for us. So it's have your main features that you want before you go in. So, you know, when we talked to Jason, we said these are the things that are musts, and of course we ended up with what we wanted.
While the custom design is more expensive, I think if it's going to be your forever home and you're in the later years of your life, you need to get it right. And so you're much better off to spend that little bit extra and have what you want than to settle, because you're never really happy with a place that you have to just settle. And when you're heading towards retirement, you haven't got an option to spend a whole lot of money down the track to redo it either, so you're better off to do it up front.
Just look at this. Yeah, I think it's hard to just put it at 3, but I think the professionalism from the start, the communication all the way through, the finished product, the simplicity, you know, it just, like, everything was easy.
Yeah, I was just going to say the quality workmanship and the professional, knowledgeable staff. They were very giving of their time and their expertise, and I thought that is priceless. Oh, definitely, we've achieved it, exceeded it probably. I think I'm happier here than I thought I would even be, so it's good.
Me too, even though I haven't got a 4K garage.